Who stole my Christmas goat? Everybody come out. Come out now!
Whispers of secret tales. Have you ever heard of the saying, when two elephants fight, it is the grass that suffers? Well, in one village, there lived a family where the elephants were not in the forest, but under one roof. A mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. And their battles were fiercer than the market women fighting over the last basket of ripe tomatoes. Now sit close, listen well, because this story will teach you that suspicion can be louder than the truth, and sometimes even food can start a war. In a red earth village in Nkranza, a young man named Kojo lived in a white family compound. Kojo was hardworking and respected. His late father had left him a small cocoa farm, goats, and houses with 3 rooms. He shared a compound with his mother, Mami Abena, a sharp-tongued woman in her 50s, and his new wife, Efua, beautiful, clever, and strong-willed, just like her mother-in-law. At first, all was well. Efua fetched water, cooked tasty meals, and Kojo's heart swelled with pride, but slowly the battle began. Mami Abena would complain, Kojo, I carried you for 9 months and raised you with my sweat. Do not forget who you belong to. Efua would answer, Yes, Mami. But does the Bible not say a man shall leave his mother and cleave to his wife? Do I not deserve my husband's love too? Their quarrels filled the air. When villagers passed by, they would whisper, Hey, Kojo's compound is hotter than pepper soup. The Christmas goat wahala. So it was almost Christmas. One of those days when Efua was in the mood for her goat stew. She brought home a goat she had purchased in the market. She tied the goat to a tree behind the house and went inside. In the morning, when she was ready to start cooking, she went outside and the goat was not there. She went inside, took a saucepan and a huge ladle and started making noise very loudly, using the ladle on the saucepan in the compound. She shouted,
Who stole my Christmas goat? Everybody come out. Come out now!
All the neighbors came out except Mama Nkechi, who lived 2 houses away with her son. No one spoke. They crossed their arms and acted innocent. She shouted, I am giving you till noon to bring back my goat, or if it is wahala you are looking for, I will give you war. When it was noon, she decided to walk around to look for the goat. She got closer to Mama Nkechi's kitchen window. She could smell soup, but the smell of goat meat stuck out to her. She proceeded to knock on the door of the house. Mama Nkechi, where did you get that goat meat you are cooking from? Mama Nkechi came to the door, visibly upset. What do you mean, banging on my door like a mad woman? Efua responded, Someone stole the goat I tied to the tree behind my house last night. And here you are, cooking goat soup. Is that not too much of a coincidence? Mama Nkechi stood back and said, Excuse me, are you the only one who eats goat meat on this compound? Don't come and start with me this morning. My son brought it to me. He brought me goat meat from his travel last night. Efua was not convinced. Something within her felt that there was more to this. She remembered Kojo had mentioned he had installed a camera at the back of the house to keep an eye on the compound while he was away. She hurriedly left and went home. She called Kojo, explained everything to him, and she requested to see the last footage of the compound from last night. He sent it to her on her phone, and lo and behold, in the footage was Mama Nkechi's oldest son, untying the goat from the tree and hurriedly running away. Efua was livid. She took a saucepan and a huge ladle again, went outside to the compound and started making loud noises by using the ladle on the saucepan, calling everybody to come outside, that she had found the thief. The neighbors gathered, including Mama Nkechi. She told the crowd that her camera captured Mama Nkechi's son stealing her goats last night and showed them the evidence. They were shocked. Mama Nkechi, looking visibly embarrassed, knelt down and begged that she would replace Efua's goats and that she had no idea it was stolen. She received it last night from her son, who is gone to the city. Efua calmed down. She told Mama Nkechi she needs her goat by tomorrow and she would like to speak to her son when he returns. Mama Nkechi obliged, stating that she would deal with him first. The grass and the goats, this compound and drama, like a hunter and a catch, they go together. The palm nut soup's disaster. One afternoon, Efua decided to spoil Kojo with palm nut soup, his favorite. He sang as she cooked, filled the air with sweet aroma. But Mami Abna sat nearby, chewing cola nuts, her eyes sharp as a hawk. When Efua stepped out to fetch water, something happened. When she returned, her soup tasted like seawater, bitter, salty, ruined. This palm soup that even the neighbors knew that they would enjoy too if Efua was in a good mood. Just like the party jollof she would make for all the neighbors with her specialty, well fried and crisp goat meat. Her heart jumped. Who has spoiled my food? She cried. Her eyes darted to Mami Abna. Mother-in-law, you did this to disgrace me. Mami Abna replied coolly, at my age, you accuse me wrongly. Watch your tongue. That evening, Kojo nearly spat his food out. Efua, this is not your cooking. What happened? The compound grew heavy with tension. Efua glared at Mami Abna. The mother-in-law hissed back. Kojo sat, torn between them. The hidden truth. For 2 days, the house was full of silence and sharp looks. Then one afternoon, Kojo's little cousin, Ajwa, playing with her friends, blurted, the day Efua cooked soup, I poured salt in to see if it would taste sweeter. I think I spoilt it. I ran away, quick, quick. The children laughed. A woman fetching water overheard and carried the news to Efua. Efua froze, so it wasn't Mami Abna. Shame burned her heart. That night, she knelt before her mother-in-law. Mother, forgive me. My suspicion blinded me. Mami Abna sighed. My daughter, suspicion is like smoke. It blinds you before you see the fire. Next time, let patience guide you. Kojo clapped his hands. From today, peace. My love is enough for the both of you. Ajwa was called to confess. She cried, apologized, and was sent back to her parents. Kofi and the diarrhea incident. Just as peace seemed to settle, another storm brewed. Kojo's childhood friend, Kofi, visited one evening. Kofi was always hungry, always sniffing around for free food. That day, Mami Abna had cooked light soup with fresh tilapia. Efua had prepared jollof, but instead of waiting, greedy Kofi wandered to a neighbor's house, where they offered him leftover yam and palm oil stew. He ate quickly, smacked his lips, and boasted, food is food. My stomach is a warrior. But by nightfall, Kofi's warrior stomach had surrendered. He was rushing to the latrine every 10 minutes, sweating, groaning, clutching his belly. Kojo and Efua woke up to the sound of his cries. Efua laughed so hard that she nearly fell. Hey, Kofi, you always want to eat from every pot. Today, you have collected diarrhea. But Kojo frowned. Efua, don't laugh. This could happen to anyone. Still, the matter chopped hot. It did not end. The next morning, gossip spread. Some villagers whispered that Efua had bewitched Kofi's stomach because he praised her neighbor's food too much. Others swore Mami Abna had done it to shame Efua's cooking. The compound turned into a battlefield of rumors once again. The unexpected twist. Weeks later, Kojo discovered something shocking. While repairing the roof, he overheard two women at the market talking.
Do you know the neighbor's stew that gave Kofi a running stomach? It was not ordinary.
The neighbors had mistaken cassava maize for fufu, which was not properly dried, and used it in the stew. That cassava had poison. Kojo's heart pounded. So neither Efua nor Mami Abna was guilty. It was simply food gone wrong. When he told Efua and Mami Abna, they both laughed until tears rolled down. For the first time in months, laughter replaced quarrels. Efua finds her dream job. Peace returned for a while soon after Efua found her dream job at the village health center as a clerk. Every morning, she left the compound neatly dressed, her head held high. She was happy. Kojo was so proud. But at home, Mami Abna fumed. With Efua gone most of the day, she became the main cook in the house. She cooked meals her way. More pepper, more oil, more salt, and Kojo sometimes grumbled. Efua returned from work to find her husband eating her mother-in-law's food. Jealousy sparked again. Kojo, don't you like my cooking anymore? She asked. Kojo replied carefully. Efua, food is food, but you are never here when I'm hungry. Efua shot Mami Abna a look that could cut plantain stems in half. Mami Abna only smirked, fanning herself. The neighbors whispered, "Hey, Kojo's house is like a cooking competition. Who will win?" Some days later, Efua started coming home early. She would close early to get home before dinner time so that she could cook for Kojo. Mami Abna began to complain again that her son was not eating her food for dinner anymore. Kojo was in between a rock and a hard place. What at all did he do to deserve two strong-willed women trying to control his life? He decided to tell his mother to allow them be, as Efua had managed to figure out how to come home early to cook and to let the issue die. Mami Abna sighed and went to her house.
Workplace Wahala. At the health center, a new battle began. Efua's boss, Mr. Aki, was a stout man with a pot belly so round it seemed as though he had swallowed a calabash. One evening, as the clock struck 5, Efua packed her things neatly and as usual, prepared to leave. "Efua," Mr. Aki barked from his office doorway, his voice carrying like a drum. "Why is it that every day, exactly at 5, you are the first to rush out? Do you think this is a marketplace?" Efua paused, steadying herself. "Say, work closes at 5. I have responsibilities at home. Once I finish my tasks, I leave. Isn't that fair?" Mr. Aki's eyes narrowed. "Don't forget, it is this job that puts food in your mouth. Don't joke with what feeds you." Her jaw tightened. "With respect, Mr. Aki, I give this work my full effort, but when it is 5 o'clock, my time belongs to my family." He grunted, waving his hand dismissively. Young women of today, no respect for authority. Efua walked out, her heart pounding with irritation. Weeks later, Mr. Aki's intimidation took a darker turn. He began lingering near her desk unnecessarily, asking questions that had nothing to do with work. One afternoon, he leaned close and whispered, "Efua, such a fine woman shouldn't waste her time cooking at home. You deserve a man who will take care of you properly. Someone like me." Efua froze, disgust rising in her throat, but she kept her calm, knowing anger would only embolden him. Quietly, she reached her phone. In her bag, pressed record and let him continue talking. That evening, she went straight to HR, shaking. She handed them the recording. The HR officer listened, eyes widening. Within days, the truth exploded. Not only Efua, but several other women in the health center came forward with their own stories. Mr. Aki had been preying on them for years. The scandal spread through the village like wildfire. The board of the health center fired him on the spot. But here came the unexpected twist. A week later, Efua received a strange letter delivered by hand. It was written in hurried handwriting. "Efua, thank you for what you did. You saved me. But be careful, Mr. Aki is not finished. He has powerful relatives in the regional office, and they are angry. Watch your back." Kojo read the letter with worry. "Hey, Efua, this matter may not end here. We must be careful. Power protects its own." Efua's courage had exposed the predator, but unknowingly, she had also stepped into dangerous waters of the village politics, where family ties and influence often weighed heavier than justice. Efua was on her way one morning to work, and two guys on a motorbike splashed water on her as they drove by. She was stunned and confused, dripping wet. She simply returned home and took the day off, as she already did not feel too well that morning. As she got ready for work, she had thrown up a number of times. She was disturbed as she really looked forward to a good day. She called the office and mentioned that she would not be in that day as she felt unwell. Kojo came back from the errand and was surprised to see her home. He said, "Efua, why are you here? Did something happen at work?" She narrated what happened, and Kojo asked her to stay home and rest. She heard a beep on her phone and checked for a text message that said, "Lucky you. Today, you would have smelled pepper if you went to that office." She was taken aback, wondering, who is this? The message was from a private number. She showed it to Kojo. He got irritated, saying, What Why would someone send you such a message? He decided that the next day he would accompany her to work. Before then, they reported to the police and HR. The next morning came. Kojo had a friend who was a policeman and decided to follow them with his colleague as they set off to Efua's workplace. As they took the turn to reach the street of the office, two guys on a motorbike crossed them, armed. Efua screamed, "What is this?" But then Kojo's friend, the police officer, showed up, chased the two guys, arrested them, and took them to the police station. They were questioned and confessed that they were sent by Mr. Aki, that pot-bellied man. He was also arrested and eventually dealt with.
Pregnancy and jealousy. Months later, Efua fell pregnant. Kojo became even more loving. He carried water for her, fanned her when she was hot, and brought her fried plantain from the market. This new attention burned Mami Abna like a hot chili. Kojo, when I carried you, who pampered me? Now see how you dance around this woman because she carries your child, she muttered. Efua, glowing with pregnancy, only smiled, knowing she had her husband's heart. But the fight continued. Efua wanted certain foods, and Kojo would rush to get them. If Mami Abna cooked, Efua sometimes refused to eat. The baby doesn't like that food, she would say, while Mami Abna rolled her eyes. Baby wants jollof rice and fried goat's meat, not groundnut soup. Mami Abna was not moved. She insisted, Efua, this is your first experience of pregnancy. You might want to take my advice since I'm the older one. My dear husband, some jollof rice and goat's meat will be great. Please do me the honors. Kojo obliged. He cooked her a sumptuous meal and served her with joy. Mami Abna stood by in awe.
After long months, Efua gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. The compound filled with joy and singing. Kojo was overjoyed, dancing like a young man at his first festival. But then came the matter of naming the child. Mami Abna insisted, "The child must be named after me. That is our tradition. I am the grandmother, the elder. My name must live on." Efua shook her head firmly. "No, Mami. My daughter will not be forced into a name. Kojo and I have chosen Amasewa." Kojo interrupted. "Mother, we have already decided on the name. Please do not insist. We as her parents should have the upper hand in deciding our child's name. She is our child after all." Mami Abna, looking displeased, exclaimed, "It is our tradition. It must be carried along." Kojo said, "No, mother. This will not also be an argument. A child coming into the family should be a joyful occasion, not one for quarrels." Kojo then continued, "We have decided to have the naming ceremony on the compound in a week's time. It will be a peaceful occasion, and I advise we all act accordingly. Our neighbors will be present."
Efua called her mother, excited to hear from her daughter. Efua gave her details of the naming ceremony, insisting that all gifts should come in the form of money, Momo cash, would be greatly appreciated. She continued to gist her mother about the things going on in her compound. Then she added her sister to the call, the slay mama. They gisted and had a good laugh and said their goodbyes.
The twist. Mami Abna's secrets.
But one evening, while Efua was breastfeeding, she overheard Mami Abna speaking to a neighbor. The old woman confessed that when Kojo was young, she had defied her own mother-in-law in a naming quarrel. She had refused to name Kojo after her husband's father. Efua's eyes widened. The very thing she now demanded had once been denied by her. That night, Efua confronted her. "Mami, so even as you once refused your mother-in-law, yet you want to force me now." She started calling the neighbors. "Come and see you. Wahala. She won't bring to me. She dodged it from her in-laws." The neighbors all gathered. "Efua, please tone it down." Kojo came out to say, "The baby is asleep." Efua, already feeling irritated, started. "Kojo, your mother wanted to force me to accept naming our daughter after her. Yet she equally refused the said tradition for you. I heard her clearly." Kojo came in. "Mother, is this true?" Silence fell. Mami Abna looked away, ashamed. For the first time, she softened. My daughter, perhaps I have been too harsh. Maybe I see myself in you, and it makes me fight harder. Mother, that is not an excuse. Please, now that there is a new family member, let's all agree to live in peace so that we can show her good values and character. These little outbursts must stop. They agreed. The neighbors all went back to their rooms. Those who were looking for an action movie were disappointed. From that day, though quarrels still flared, because can a cat and a dog ever become best friends? Mami Abna and Efua tried to give each other space. Efua stopped jumping to conclusions. Mami Abna stopped testing her daughter-in-law's patience. The villagers learned too. Whenever someone accused another wrongly, they would say, "Do not be like Efua, who blamed her mother-in-law for Adre's salty soup and Kofi's bad stomach." And so, the tale reminds us, suspicion destroys faster than truth can heal. And greed will always find its punishment. If you love this story, kindly subscribe, like, and share. Another sweet one is on its way. Tell me where you are watching from. Thank you.